SKK Migas. What do these letters stand for? They represent Satuan Kerja Khusus Pelaksana Kegiatan Usaha Hulu Minyak dan Gas Bumi. This is Indonesia's special task force for upstream oil and gas business activities. It officially came into being in 2012, established to replace a previous entity known as BPM Migas. Why was this change necessary at that time? The Constitutional Court had its specific legal considerations then. However, the fundamental goal, the core objective, remains steadfast and crystal clear. That primary goal is to effectively manage the nation's incredibly vital oil and gas resources. These resources are undeniably crucial for our country's continued progress and development. They are the lifeblood that fuels our growing economy and consistently powers our complex daily lives. Indonesia's long-term energy future, indeed its overall prosperity, heavily depends on the wise, prudent, and sustainable management of these precious assets. SKK Migas operates under a robust and clearly defined legal framework, established by national law. It is officially recognized and functions as an important state institution. In its operational hierarchy, it answers directly, and is therefore accountable, to the President of the Republic of Indonesia. This direct line of reporting effectively underscores its significant national strategic importance to the country. Its primary mandate is both unambiguous and critically important for the nation's well-being. It is tasked to comprehensively manage all upstream oil and gas activities that take place across the vast and geographically diverse Indonesian archipelago. This operational principle is firmly rooted in the constitutional concept that all natural wealth contained within the land and waters of Indonesia inherently belongs to the state. The state, in turn, must diligently ensure that these invaluable resources provide tangible benefits to all Indonesian citizens in an equitable and fair manner. It is vitally important for public understanding to clearly differentiate what SKK Migas is, and perhaps more importantly, what it is not. It is not an operational oil company in the traditional sense, such as the state-owned enterprise PT Pertamina, Persero. SKK Migas does not own or operate drilling rigs, nor does it directly engage in the physical extraction of oil or natural gas from the earth itself. Instead, SKK Migas functions primarily as the state's diligent and authoritative regulator in the upstream sector. It also acts as the vigilant supervisor, overseeing all upstream oil and gas operations conducted within the nation's territory. It meticulously monitors the diverse activities of various companies, which include both established national entities and large, experienced international corporations. These participating entities are formally known as Cooperation Contract Contractors, often abbreviated simply as KKS Contractor. SKK Migas works tirelessly to ensure that all their extensive operations strictly adhere to Indonesia's prevailing laws and complex regulations, and most importantly, that they consistently align with the overarching national interests and strategic energy goals. The stated vision of SKK Migas is indeed ambitious, comprehensive, and distinctly forward-looking. It aims to consistently optimize and effectively maximize the state revenue that is derived from the immensely valuable upstream oil and gas sector. This substantial revenue stream is absolutely vital for funding a wide array of diverse national development programs across various sectors. Its comprehensive mission involves actively fostering a stable, predictable, and genuinely attractive investment climate for both domestic and international potential investors. It also actively promotes and encourages the adoption of greater operational efficiency and technological innovation among all participating contractors. Core principles such as unwavering transparency in all dealings and the consistent application of good governance practices are deeply embedded within its fundamental operational ethos. SKK Migas diligently strives to manage these finite, precious, and non-renewable natural resources in the most effective and responsible manner possible. It undertakes this critical task with the clear and unwavering objective of ensuring maximum, sustainable, and equitable benefit for the Indonesian people, not just for the current populace today, but also for all future generations yet to come. So, what exactly does SKK Migas do on a daily, operational basis? One of its most central and critical tasks involves the thorough supervision of production sharing contracts, which are commonly referred to in the industry as PSCs. What precisely are these PSCs? In simple terms, PSCs are complex legal agreements meticulously drawn up between the Indonesian government, which is represented in these matters by SKK Migas, and the various oil and gas companies. These detailed contracts clearly define how all oil and gas exploration and subsequent production activities will be conducted. They also meticulously detail the precise mechanisms for how the resulting profits from these operations will be shared between the state and the contractor. SKK Migas bears the significant responsibility of ensuring that these contractors diligently meet all their extensive contractual commitments. This comprehensive oversight includes monitoring committed investment levels, achieving agreed-upon production targets, and adhering to stringent operational and safety standards. It is, without doubt, a highly complex and demanding monitoring job. SKK Migas is deeply involved in the entire upstream oil and gas journey, right from the very initial stages. It actively manages and meticulously oversees all exploration activities undertaken by contractors. This can involve granting approval for extensive seismic surveys, which are crucial for identifying potential subterranean hydrocarbon reserves. It also includes the critical decision of giving the green light for the drilling of exploratory wells, which are speculative ventures into unproven areas. If commercially viable quantities of oil or natural gas are successfully discovered, SKK Migas then transitions to overseeing the subsequent exploitation phase. This phase encompasses the actual, long-term production of these discovered resources. Throughout this entire lengthy and technically challenging process, maintaining the highest standards of safety for all personnel involved and ensuring comprehensive environmental protection are absolutely paramount concerns. SKK Migas rigorously enforces strict regulations and industry best practices to safeguard both workers and the delicate natural environment from any potential harm. Another critically important function performed by SKK Migas is the detailed review and formal approval of work programs and budgets, often abbreviated as WP&B. Every single oil and gas contractor operating in Indonesia is legally required to submit their comprehensive operational plans. These extensive plans meticulously detail all their intended activities, from geological studies to drilling campaigns, and also outline all the associated projected costs for a specific operational period, typically 1 year. SKK Migas, with its teams of technical and financial experts, meticulously reviews each of these detailed submissions. Why is such scrutiny necessary? It is primarily to ensure that the contractor's plans are fully aligned with the nation's strategic production goals and energy security objectives. Furthermore, this review process serves to rigorously control operational costs. A significant portion of the contractor's incurred costs can often be recovered from the revenue generated by production, a mechanism widely known in the industry as cost recovery. SKK Migas diligently guards against any potential inefficiencies or unreasonable expenditures in this area to protect state interests. Once valuable oil and natural gas are successfully produced from the earth, SKK Migas continues to play a significant and active role. It proactively facilitates the complex processes of marketing and the physical lifting, loading onto tankers or into pipelines, of the state's entitled share of the produced oil and gas. This critical function ensures that Indonesia, as the owner of the resources, receives its rightful and fair portion of the total output, as stipulated in the PSCs. Furthermore, SKK Migas is instrumental in the effective implementation of the Domestic Market Obligation, commonly known as DMO. This important national policy legally requires contractors to supply a certain predetermined percentage of their oil or gas production to the domestic market, often at regulated prices. This policy directly helps to secure Indonesia's national energy supply chain. It ensures that essential fuels and feedstock for power generation remain consistently available and affordable for the Indonesian people and its industries. Over its years of operation, SKK Migas has successfully navigated an exceedingly challenging and often unpredictable global energy landscape. Despite these complexities, it has managed to record a number of significant and noteworthy achievements. The institution has worked relentlessly and strategically to maintain, and in some specific instances, even increase, the national oil and gas production levels. This is by no means a small or insignificant feat, especially considering that many of Indonesia's major oil and gas fields are now mature, having been in production for many decades, and are therefore experiencing natural rates of production decline. Consistently attracting substantial new investment into the capital-intensive upstream sector has been a constant and primary focus for SKK Migas. This ongoing effort involves actively promoting Indonesia's considerable petroleum potential on the global stage to international investors. It also means a continuous drive towards streamlining historically complex bureaucratic processes to a more investor-friendly degree. The immense contribution of the upstream oil and gas sector to overall state revenue simply cannot be overstated or underestimated. For many, many years, this vital sector, operating under the diligent supervision of SKK Migas and its institutional predecessor, has served as a fundamental cornerstone of the Indonesian economy. Substantial sums, often amounting to billions of US dollars annually, have consistently flowed into the state coffers from oil and gas activities. These considerable funds have been critically utilized for widespread national infrastructure development projects, such as roads, ports, and power plants. They have also significantly supported essential public services like education and healthcare programs nationwide. Furthermore, these revenues have played a crucial role in helping to reduce poverty levels and improve living standards across the diverse Indonesian archipelago. SKK Migas, therefore, plays an absolutely vital role in diligently safeguarding and attempting to maximize this crucial national income stream for the benefit of all citizens. There have been several notable and highly impactful success stories related to the development of major oil and gas projects under SKK Migas's watch. One can readily think of the successful development and sustained production from giant fields like the Banyu Urip oil field in Cepu, East Java, which significantly boosted national oil output. Another prime example is the massive Tangguh LNG, liquefied natural gas, project located in Bintuni Bay, West Papua, a world-class facility supplying gas to both domestic and international markets. These large-scale projects, meticulously managed under the stringent oversight of SKK Migas, have not only substantially boosted national production figures, but have also brought considerable direct and indirect economic benefits to their respective regions, including job creation and local business development. Encouragingly, discoveries of new, albeit often smaller and more challenging hydrocarbon reserves continue to be made periodically. Each new discovery, however modest, helps to replenish the nation's finite energy inventory and extend its energy self-sufficiency. Beyond the primary goals of production and revenue generation, SKK Migas actively champions the development and utilization of local content within the industry. It consistently pushes contractors to increase the participation of Indonesian companies in all aspects of upstream oil and gas activities. This includes providing opportunities for Indonesian service companies, equipment manufacturers, and material suppliers. Developing the nation's valuable human resources is also a clearly stated and consistently pursued priority for the institution. SKK Migas strongly encourages and, where possible, mandates that contractors employ, train, and develop Indonesian workers at all levels, from technicians to senior management. This sustained effort fosters crucial technology transfer from international partners to local professionals. It progressively builds essential domestic capacity and expertise within this highly specialized and technologically advanced global industry. The ultimate long-term goal is to cultivate a more self-reliant and globally competitive Indonesian oil and gas sector. Despite its commendable past successes and ongoing efforts, SKK Migas undoubtedly faces a range of formidable and complex challenges in the coming years. A primary and pressing concern is the persistent issue of natural production decline from Indonesia's numerous aging oil and gas fields. Many of these prolific fields have been consistently producing valuable hydrocarbons for several decades, and are now well past their peak output levels. Consequently, the task of finding new, large, and easily accessible reserves is becoming increasingly difficult, technically demanding, and significantly more expensive than in the past. Modern exploration activities often necessitate venturing into much deeper waters offshore, or exploring more remote, logistically challenging, and geologically complex frontier areas. Successfully exploiting such areas requires substantial upfront capital investment and the deployment of highly advanced exploration and production technologies. While enhanced oil recovery, EOR, techniques are being increasingly applied to mature fields to extract remaining oil, these methods also have their technical limitations and economic viabilities. The global energy market, by its very nature, is inherently volatile and subject to sudden, often unpredictable, shifts. Persistently fluctuating international oil and gas prices create a pervasive atmosphere of uncertainty for both producing nations and investing companies. When global prices are low for extended periods, the economic attractiveness of investing in new exploration and development projects tends to markedly decrease. This, in turn, can negatively impact future production levels and jeopardize long-term energy security. State revenue, which is heavily reliant on commodity prices, also takes a significant hit during such downturns, impacting national budgets. SKK Migas must skillfully navigate this complex and dynamic interplay of global market forces, supply-demand balances, and investor sentiment. Furthermore, significant geopolitical events occurring in other major oil and gas-producing regions of the world can also send disruptive shockwaves through international energy markets, adding yet another layer of complexity to the already challenging task of managing Indonesia's vital hydrocarbon resources. The world is also currently witnessing, and actively participating in, a profound and accelerating global energy transition. There is a growing and increasingly urgent international push towards cleaner, more sustainable, and renewable energy sources, driven by concerns about climate change and environmental degradation. This paradigm shift presents both substantial challenges and potential new opportunities for an institution like SKK Migas, which has traditionally overseen fossil fuel development. How does Indonesia, a nation still heavily reliant on oil and gas, effectively balance its immediate energy needs and economic development goals with its international climate commitments and environmental responsibilities? Natural gas, being a cleaner-burning fossil fuel compared to oil or coal, is often widely seen and promoted as a crucial transitional fuel during this shift. SKK Migas therefore has an important role in encouraging and facilitating further natural gas development and utilization. It must also strategically consider the long-term future role of oil in a progressively decarbonizing global energy mix. Finally, there are persistent and ongoing regulatory and bureaucratic hurdles that can sometimes impede progress and investment in the sector. Creating and consistently maintaining a truly attractive, stable, and competitive investment climate is a continuous and evolving effort that requires interagency coordination. Legal certainty, policy consistency, and transparent, efficient administrative processes are absolutely paramount for attracting the necessary long-term, large-scale investments that the upstream oil and gas sector demands. SKK Migas actively works in collaboration with other relevant government ministries and agencies to continuously streamline processes and remove unnecessary bottlenecks. It consistently aims to improve overall operational efficiency and enhance transparency across all its functions. The ultimate and most critical challenge for SKK Migas, and indeed for Indonesia as a whole, is to robustly ensure the nation's comprehensive energy security for many decades to come. This means consistently providing reliable and affordable energy supplies to support continued national economic growth, industrial development, and the well-being of all its citizens.